Hello and welcome to Yoga by Nature podcast. This podcast is a live class I recorded in Weston-super-Mare where I'm teaching in person while live streaming and recording. So there's lots of pre-class text set up now, but I've got some shiny new equipment so I can offer the best quality possible. So if you'd like to join me either in person or online, then take a look at the online booking page of www.yogabynature.org and sign yourself up. If you're a new starter, then you start for only £10 for a whole month of yoga on the newbie pass, which I personally think is ridiculous. The class itself is a level 1 class, and I wanted to do something on calming anxiety as we go into another phase of pandemic life. My first thought went to the breath, and then I started thinking about how we can tease that calming effect of conscious breathing through the fibres of the body. And I came up with this, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're well and happy wherever you are. Namaste.
Okay, so today's class, it's all about movement and breath. And I wanted to focus on breath because I wanted to do a class around calming anxiety and stress release. And focusing on the breath is a really good way to do that. And also we'll be looking at how breath informs movement and helps you move better. And also how functional breath just generally helps to improve well-being. So we'll be doing some inquiry into just how it feels to breathe after we've done our various practices. So we're going to be lying on the back to start with, and we'll have the palms of the hands resting on the lower belly. So that if you just rest the hands next to each other, so you've got as much hand in contact with as much belly as you can. And they'll be resting in the region between navel and pubic bone, with just the weight of the hands resting on the abdomen. This practice works best if you have your eyes closed, just because you can observe more information coming from the body. And first of all, just take a moment to let the body just drop down into the ground beneath you. And then become aware of your breath. Just simply notice your breath, notice how you're breathing. What's the quality of your breath this evening? How does it feel to breathe? Does it feel good? Neutral? Does it feel difficult? Sometimes when the breath becomes self-conscious, it can become a bit uncomfortable, so that's normal. And now bring your awareness down to your belly, so you can feel the warmth of your hands on the skin of the belly. And begin to breathe into your hands, so the breath travels all the way down the body into the lower part of the torso. And it creates a swell that moves from the chest all the way down into the abdominal pelvic region. You might feel your hands lifting up a little bit with the inhale. And then as the breath leaves the body, you might feel the hands sinking back towards the spine as you exhale. The inhale creates volume in the inner body. We're taking in more air. So this is where the expansion, or the feeling of expansion, comes from. And then with the exhale, there's a subsiding as all that extra volume leaves the body. Begin to just very slightly lengthen your exhale. Just see how it feels to very slightly stretch that exhale The exhale has a connection to our parasympathetic nervous system. And that means that the lengthened exhale can help to calm you down and bring you into a state of rest. The blood begins to flow back into the vital systems of the body. And the body knows that it's safe to relax. And so the lengthened exhale is a practice that you can do anywhere, anytime you feel that you need to calm yourself. And if you're not feeling any movement of your abdomen yet, it can take a little while to get this. Sometimes you need to retrain yourself how to breathe, because it won't feel like second nature. So just work with the intention and it will eventually come. At the end of your next exhale, just release your arms to your sides. And we're going to do another breathing practice where we start with the arms at the sides and we take a full exhale. And then with the inhale, we're going to lift the arms up and they're going to do a big arc. So they're going to come all the way up and over and rest behind the head. And then when the exhale comes, the exhale is going to bring the arms back down to the sides. And just keep on moving with the breath. And just make sure you're taking a full breath. It's really important that the body can take a full breath. It feels so good. And the body really likes that. Because when you can take a full breath, the body knows that all is well. And as you get into a rhythm with your movements and your breath, just begin to smooth out the breath so it becomes smooth and steady. And then the movement will follow. So whatever qualities are present in the breath, they'll also be translated into your movements. Let's make this one the last one. And take a pause here after this last one. Keep the arms just resting loosely at the sides. And take just a couple of conscious breaths and just notice the quality of your breath and also notice the quality of your attention. And now bring both of your knees into your chest. If you're feeling tender at all in your belly, or if you've got a headache or just feeling low in energy, you can you keep the feet on the ground. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let the knees sort of drop down towards the left and have them hovering above the ground, not coming all the way down. Keep the arms wide out to the sides as a foundation. And then inhale, bring the knees back to center. And then we'll exhale, roll over to the other side. And then let the inhale pull the knees all the way back up to center. Let's go over to the other side. So you're using the condensing of the exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Just continue at your own pace. The condensing, strengthening contraction of the exhale guides the knees down. And then the sort of enlivening energy of the inhale brings them back to center. Just see if you can feel that at work in your own body. And then we're going to exhale, hover the knees over to the left this next time. And then drop the knees all the way down to the ground and roll all the way over onto your left side. And now we're going to create a little arch in the lower back. And you can do that by drawing the sitting bones back and sort of tucking the sacrum in towards the middle of the body. So you're sticking your bum out, basically. And keeping that arch in the lower back, we're going to bring the right arm all the way back to lie back on the ground, keeping the hips where they are. So you might find the arm doesn't come all the way down. That's okay if it hovers there. Keep that arch in the lower back, so the navel sort of presses forward and the tailbone comes back. And just keep it there. And now we're going to do a little experiment here. So I'd like you to just become aware of the right sort of armpit chest area where you've got lots of room for the breath to enter. Take a breath here. And now clench your right fist and tighten up your belly. Get really sort of tight and engaged around the right arm and shoulder and belly. And now try taking a breath. And now relax the right shoulder, wrist, hand, belly. And take a breath here. See how it feels now. Let's go over to the other side. So we're going to bring the knees back to center. Roll over to the right side. All the way over. Stick out your bum. Draw the sitting bones back, And then we're going to lift that left arm up and then roll the left side of the rib cage, the left hand back. Keep the curve in the lower back and then rest there. Bring awareness to the left, armpit, chest, ribs, anywhere where you can feel room for the breath, and take a breath. And now engage. Tighten up the left fist, strong fist. Grip the left side of the belly, engage, and then try taking a breath. And then relax. Soften the shoulder, the abdomen, the jaw, and breathe now. See what a difference it makes. That's something you can do, again, anytime, anywhere you are. If you find yourself clenching your fists or clenching your jaw, notice what it does to the breath. Let's bring the knees back to center. And we're going to hold on to the backs of the thighs. Those of you who have lower back issues, then instead of doing this, roll over onto one side instead and come up that way. But we're going to try a little breathing practice while we're rocking back and forth here. So we're going to inhale and then exhale, rock yourself up. And see if you can balance here on your sitting bones. And then inhale, come back, and then exhale, come up. Oops, inhale, come back. That was a bit quick because I fell over. Exhale, exhale, back to kind of boat pose. Try it in your own time. So you're inhaling to come back and then exhaling to balance. So you're using the engagement of the exhale to hold yourself there in the balance. Good. And let's make that one the last one. So we're just going to cross the legs, tip forward, place the hands up to the top of the mat, and then walk the knees back. Place the wrists underneath the armpits and the knees underneath the hips, and then sink the hands down into the ground. Like, make your hands really heavy, and imagine they're actually sinking down. Feel the handprint on the earth. And then we'll start this movement by lengthening the tailbone down. So you're pressing your tailbone down towards the ground, lift the navel up, and then lift the space in between the shoulder blades and just let the head hang to the ground. Now take an exhale. And then as you inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the navel to the ground, lift the chest forward and up. and then exhale to round the back. And as you move, think of initiating the movement at your tailbone. So your tailbone starts the movement and then the rest of the spine follows. And you could imagine here that you're sort of breathing along your spine as you move. And again, if you can close your eyes, then you may get more of a visual sense of the inner body, a mind's eye picture. Or sometimes you can get other kinds of visuals in this practice because there's lots of energy moving up and down the spine, and you might get a sense of that in your sort of mind's eye too. Moving from the tailbone. And then we'll come back to neutral spine after that one. And move the knees close together. If at any point it feels like too much for your wrists, you can make fists with the hands and come onto ridge tops, or you can go down to forearms. And we're going to do tiger pose, so very similar. Let me just demonstrate something in tiger pose. So when we come up to tiger pose, we come this far and the pelvis stays quite level. And then what tends to happen is this. And then we stop using the glutes, and then we start using peripheral muscles instead. So we want to keep it here. So we're keeping the glutes and the hips really strong. And it will probably feel like you're doing less, but you're actually doing more. So let's try with the right leg. We'll take an inhale, sweep the right foot back, and then lift the knee, keeping the back of the pelvis level. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the knee into the chest, draw the forehead towards the knee. Inhaling all the way up, hugging the midline, so you're sort of hugging the thighs towards each other. And then with the exhale, drawing in. That looks beautiful. And let's do two more. And then bring the knees back together. Lovely, let's try the other side. So with the inhale, sweeping the knee back and up, the back of the pelvis stays level. And then with the exhale, drawing the knee into the chest. So we'll do 4 repetitions here. Just go with the rhythm of your own breath. And it's like you're trying to draw that right thigh bone closer in towards the midline of the body. You could even think of sort of sliding the hips over to the left just slightly if you feel like you're collapsing a bit over to the right. That looks great. And then after 4, we're going to just sit back on the heels and give the wrists a bit of a rest for a moment. Interlace the fingers, and we'll just flex and extend the hands a few times. Okay, brilliant. Give the hands a shake. All right, it's time for down dog. So we're going to place the hands up to the top of the mat. Walk the knees back a little bit so they're a bit behind the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide and really root down into the ground through the inner knuckles. So pinning the base of the index finger really firmly down to the ground, and then tuck the toes and lift the hips. And come right up onto tiptoes. So take a nice long stance here and come right up onto tiptoes. Lift the heels as high as you can. And then bend the knees a little bit and then press the thighs back, the very top of the thigh back away from the belly. And we're going to do a little breathing practice here as well. So as you exhale, we're going to drop the heels towards the ground. Don't expect them to come all the way down. That's not the goal. And then inhale, lift the heels up. And let's keep on. Exhaling, pressing back, softening in between the shoulder blades. And then inhaling to lift up, lift the sitting bones. Exhaling, lengthen the tailbone down, press the heels back. Let's just do 2 more. Make sure the inner knuckles are firm to the ground. Yeah, protect your wrists. You'll be able to hold the pose longer as well. Last one. Step your right foot in between your hands somehow. Take as many steps as you need to. You can sort of put the foot there with your hand if you need to. And then just take a moment here. The hands can go either side of the foot or they might go inside the foot. Just do what feels most accessible to you. And then just let the body sort of drop into the pose. This is almost like a restorative pose in that it's quite passive. And the best way we can do this pose is just by surrendering into it. So just letting the pelvis get really heavy and undoing any sort of shortening that's been happening along the front of the hip during the course of the day if you've been sitting down a lot. Just letting that sort of stretch out and reform back to its original state. And then we're going to climb up onto the front knee. If the back knee is feeling a bit tender, you can always pad the knee with a blanket. Get your balance. If you're feeling wobbly, you can tuck the back toes under. And then we're going to take an inhale to bring the arms up towards the sky. With the exhale, we're going to come down to cactus arms. So quite strongly, bring the arms down. Squeeze the upper back muscles. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So with the inhale, imagine you're breathing all the way up to the fingertips. And then exhale, pull it all the way back into the heart. And then 1 more time. Lovely. Place the hands. And we're just going to step the right foot back and step the left foot forward. And just take a few breaths here, just dropping into it. So you're letting the pelvis drop forward and down. And don't push it. It's quite easy to overstretch in this one. So if it feels like you're overstretching when you let go completely, then hold a bit back. And breathe into it. See if you can take the breath wherever you can feel the resistance. And then we'll climb up onto the front knee. Lift the belly. Find your balance. And then with the inhale, we'll sweep the arms up, reach up. Exhaling, pulling the arms down, like you're sort of pulling down something really heavy. Inhale. Squeeze the upper back muscles, open the chest. Last one. Good. And then place the hands down onto the mat again. Tuck the back toes under. And then just hop forward. So you're going to bring that right foot forward to meet the left. And fold into a forward bend. Have the feet sort of generously spaced so that your lower back and your hips can feel relaxed. And bend the knees as much as you need to for the spine to feel soft and relaxed. And then we're going to take hold of opposite elbows and just let the spine sort of pour out of the pelvis. Liquid spine. And then soften your skin, liquid skin. Just imagine the skin of the upper body sort of pouring down towards the crown of the head. And close your eyes, again, if you feel comfortable to close your eyes. And we've looked a lot already at coordinating the movement and the breath, but this time we're just looking at how the breath moves us. Can you allow your breath to move you? If you remain completely passive here to the breath, what happens? I can see some of you really moving with the breath. So there's a lift that comes with the inhale, the spine lifts, and then with the exhale, there's a gravity. Lovely. Release the hands. Place the hands to the shins, look forward, halfway. And as you look forward, reach the breastbone forward, and you'll feel the abdomen lengthening up out of the pelvis. And then just take a couple of breaths here, just letting the internal organs rest. Bring the hands to the hips, press the feet down, and then come all the way up to standing. Good. Reach the arms up. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Bring the hands into the heart. So we're going to move through a half sun salutation. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. And then with the exhale, folding in. Come back into that forward bend. Bend the knees as much as you need to make the back feel strong. Inhale, look forward halfway. And then exhale, fold back in. Empty the breath. On the inhale, rise up, lifting the chest again, lengthening the abdomen, and then reach up. And then with the exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Send the exhale all the way down into the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We're going to do a bit longer of a flow this time. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, straighten the right leg, fold into a runner's lunge. Inhale, rock forward back to your lunge and twist to the right, opening up. Exhale, place the hands to the ground. Good. Inhale, step the right knee back. Don't worry if you're not following the breathing pattern exactly. Exhale, come back to child's pose. Inhale into cobra. So we're going to sweep forward, rise up to cobra pose. And then exhale all the way back into down dog. That's the flow. Take a breath here. We're going to have a couple of times to practice this. Inhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Exhale, back to your runner's lunge. Inhale, rock forward again and open up to the left, come into a twist. Exhale, place the hands back to the earth. Inhale, step the left knee back. Exhale, drop all the way back to child's pose. Inhale, sweep forward, striking cobra. And then exhale, all the way back to down dog. On your next exhale, bend your knees and then either jump or step up to the top of the mat. Look forward halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach high. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, did you get all that? So that's the sequence. We're going to try it one more time. I just thought it would be interesting to do something other than a sun salutation. Something a bit different. So we'll try one more time. We'll start with an exhale. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, step the left foot back, come into a lunge. Exhale, back to your runner's lunge. Inhale, come forward into a lunge twist to the right. Exhale, place the hand to the earth. Inhale, step the right knee back. Exhale, all the way back to child's pose. And then inhale, cobra pose. Striking forward and up. Lovely. Exhale, back to down dog. A breath here. And then on your next inhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Exhale, back to runner's lunge. Inhale into your lunge twist to the left. Beautiful. Exhale, place that hand back down to the ground. Inhale, step the left knee back. And then exhale, back to child. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling all the way back to down dog. A breath here. On your next exhale, bend your knees, and then inhale, jump or step, come to the top of your mat, look forward, and then exhale, fold in. With the inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing, and then exhaling, hands come into rest at the heart. Release the arms to the sides. Bring the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And again, if you're comfortable to, close your eyes and take a moment just to observe how you perceive energy moving through the body now, what sensations you can feel, what's happening in the inner space. And we're going to move into some standing poses now. So open your eyes, come back into the room. And we're going to go up to the top of the mat, bring the hands to the hips, and then step the left foot back and just turn the toes out slightly. Take a bend in the right knee. And we'll keep the hips square so that the hip points are looking up towards the front of the mat. Good. So just you can play around with the angle in the back foot. You'll find that if you turn it out too much, it's going to drag this hip right back. And if you have it turned forward too much, then it just might make you feel a bit unstable. So find a place where you can comfortably have the hip points looking forward. We're going to do a bit more breath work here. So bring the arms up. You're going to take an inhale here, and then exhale, sort of fold forward. So we're taking the shoulders in front of the hips, and then inhale to come back. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper in the hips, take the chest forward, and then inhale to come back. Last time, exhale, fold forward, and we're going to hold it this time for about 3 breaths. Direct the breath into the front and the back of the heart. Keep the gaze either forward, or you can look up in between the thumbs. So you're going to aim to keep the upper body quite bright and open. Lovely. From here, we're going to flow into a balance. So interlace the fingers behind you. We're going to pitch forward and take that left away from the ground. And then just begin to fold into warrior number 3, a variation of. Lift that back leg. If that back leg is just sort of dangling, rudderless, then engage, lift, and then from the pelvis, press down into both heels. 1 more breath. And then bring that left foot down to meet the right. Okay, good. So from here, hands to the hips, and then we'll step the right foot back. Take as much time as you need to set up your stance. So hips are facing forward. You can use that right hand to sort of manhandle that right hip forward a little bit, maneuver it forward, and then make sure that back heel's well down. And we'll take an inhale to bring the arms up, and exhale, sit deeply down into the hips and fold forward a little bit here. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. And then with the exhale. And as you come forward, we'll just do this once more, you'll feel your back muscles switching on more. The abdomen will be engaged here, so you'll need to breathe more into your chest and into your side ribs to see if you can feel that. Keep the arms strong. You can take the arms wider if your shoulders are feeling tight. Lovely. And let's go into warrior 3. So interlace the fingers behind you, pitch forward, lift the knuckles, and lift that back leg. So keep it just as strong as your standing leg, and that's going to help you to balance. It will give the pose more direction and more containment. Beautiful. And then release down. Okay. Fantastic. Let's take a wide stance. Oh, yeah, let's all face that way, just so we're all neat and tidy. We'll turn let's start with the left side for a change. So I'm not mirroring. Left toes will turn out, right toes will turn in. let's just try something. Take way too wide a stance. Much wider than you would normally take. Good. Bring the arms wide. And then slide over towards the left. And then come into your pose. And just see how it feels. See how you're breathing. And then let's come all the way up. Take a normal stance. You might find that this stance actually feels pretty good to you, in which case leave it there. If you feel like you get more support from having the feet closer together, then just adjust so that your hips are really well supported, and then your respiratory system will be well supported. Bring the arms wide. And then slide over towards the left, making that left side of the body really long. And then we're going to seesaw over, bringing the left fingertips to the thigh or the shin. The right wrist will be just above the shoulder for now. And then we're going to wrap that right arm behind the back. And you can either place the hand on the lower back, you can grab hold of your top, or if you can reach, you can sort of wrap your fingertips all the way around to take hold of the top of the thigh. And breathe here. Breathe into that right rib, that right armpit chest. Take a full exhale. And as you inhale, reach the right arm up. And just imagine you're actually lifting your arm with your lung as you inhale. One more breath here. And then come all the way up. Let's release the arms. Did what I just said make sense? Yeah? Okay. Good, let's do the other side. So we'll go to the right side. Just stay facing that way and turn the right toes out. So you'll be facing the back of the room. Right toes will turn out. Take a stance that supports the hips to be steady, the lower back to feel free. Straighten both legs if you can. Catherine, just turn that left foot in about 2 inches. And then make sure the right foot's completely turned out so it's looking towards the top of the mat. And then take an inhale, bring the arms wide. Exhale, slide over towards the right this time. And then come into triangle pose. Beautiful. Wrap the right arm behind the back. And then notice the abdomen is really strongly engaged here, the sides of the abdomen particularly. So you need to find room to breathe in that left armpit chest area and the side ribs, wherever you can. Now take a full exhale. And now as you inhale, lift that left arm up with the left lung. All the way up to the fingertips. Breathe here. Come all the way up. And let's release. Good. So we're going to go back to side one. We're going to go back to the left side. And we're coming into Parsvakonasana, which is side angle pose. So we can take a nice wide stance. You can go wider than you go for triangle. And we'll start again on the left side. So left toes will turn towards me. And then your right toes will turn in very slightly. So just make sure that that right heel is well back towards the back of the mat. And now take a deep bend in your left knee. And then bring the forearm to rest on the thigh. And now scoop the left hip forward and press the left thigh out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Turn the belly and the ribs up towards the ceiling. So we're going to do another breathing practice. As you inhale, slide that right arm alongside the ear, taking the arm straight. As you exhale, you're going to turn the palm forward and sort of swim the arm down the side. Inhale, slide the arm across the ear. And then exhale, swim the arm down. Careful not to collapse into that left shoulder. Just keep lifting out of the shoulder. Inhale, slide. Like you're sliding the arm along the inhale. And then exhale. And then last one. We're going to hold it here just for a breath. Keep the belly, the ribs rotating up towards the ceiling. And then rise all the way up. Bring that left leg back to straight. Fantastic. And then release the arms. So let's go to the other side. Left toes will turn in, right toes will turn out this time. And then drop into that right knee. Good. Keep that left leg really straight and strong and steady. And then bring the forearm to rest just lightly on that right thigh. Scoop the right hip under, so the right sitting bone scooping forwards, and the right thigh is going to press out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Turn the belly and the ribs towards the ceiling, and then with your inhale, slide that left arm alongside the ear, and then exhale, swim the arm down. Just carry on at the rhythm of your own breath. So you're sort of following the breath with your movements. And notice as you lift the arm with the breath, you also lengthen the breath. You've got more breath. Last one. Let's take the left arm alongside the ear. Palm faces down. Hold it. One breath. Well done. And then come all the way up. Fab. Bring that left leg back to straight. Great. So let's take a step all the way back up to the top of the mat. And let's do a balance. So we're going to stand on the left foot for tree pose, okay? So just letting the weight pour down from the left side of the pelvis into the left foot. And then before we go into the balance, just check in with your breathing. And imagine here that you're sort of breathing through the center of your body. You could visualize the breath moving from the nostrils all the way down the center into the pelvic floor, and then exhaling all the way back along the midline. And keep that connection to your breath. We'll bring the sole of the right foot to the inner ankle, and then maybe to the inner calf. If you're a bit more practiced at yoga or a bit more flexible, then you might have the sole of the foot on the inner thigh. Keeping that right knee rolling out towards the right. Don't forget to breathe. Long, easy, steady breath. If you're feeling steady, you can reach the arms up. Tight shoulders, just take the arms wider. You can give the shoulders a little roll, perhaps, if they're feeling stuck. And release. Let's try the other side. So really planting that right foot down. Check in with your breath in the center of the body. And then we'll bring the sole of the foot to the inner ankle. Maybe calf. Maybe thigh. Move into the pose in your own time. Keep coming back to the breath. It's the first thing that goes when we're concentrating or distracted. Beautiful. And releasing down. Good. Bring the big toes together. Bend the knees. Come down to sit on the heels or go wherever you can go. Great. And now come and take a seat. So let's do a twist. We're going to do a pose called Marichyasana. It's named after one of the great sages of yoga. If you need to sit on something, then please do. If you feel your lower back is rounding, I'm going to sit on a block here, but you could have a cushion or a folded blanket. Have the left leg straight out in front and bring the right heel so it's sitting up really close to the right hip. So this is your standing leg, this left leg. So it wants to be strong and steady. It's a foundation. And then we're going to hold on to the right knee with the left hand. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up, and move on the exhale. So you're twisting into the exhale, bringing the right fingertips to rest just behind you. And if you can reach, then you might wrap the whole of that left arm around the right knee now. And move with your breath. So use that inhale to lengthen the spine and sit tall. And then use the exhale to soften and release into the rotation in the spine. Soften the shoulders. And just like we did in that hanging forward bend before, just let the body move with the breath. And then unwind to come back to center. Great, let's do the other side. So we're going to bring the left heel in. It's going to sit right in front of the sitting bone, but we want some space. We want about 3 or 4 inches of space in between the thigh and the foot. Okay. Strong in the right leg, the standing leg. And then we're going to take hold of the left knee with the right hand. Take an inhale, reach the left arm up, and sort of use that left arm to pull you up. So you're sitting really tall, beautiful. And then with the exhale, move into the twist. So the left fingertips will rest behind you. And if you feel like the belly or breasts are getting in the way, you can just sort of pull them round. You can use that left hand to sort of move the flesh around. Even if you don't have much there, then it helps. Follow the breath. Soften the shoulders. So find where there can be ease in the pose. Are you trying too hard? Are you gripping with the right hand? Are you gripping your shoulders? Try not pushing into it. Just let the breath take you. Well done. Let's unwind. Come back to center. And we're going to take that left foot and just place it at the top of the right thigh. So the knee drops down towards the ground. Keep the right toes turning up, so they're looking up towards the ceiling. And then with an inhale, reach the arms up. I'm going to take the exhale to fold forward. And just follow the exhales into the pose. At a certain point, you'll need to bring the hands down. So they can just rest wherever they land. They can be resting on the ground or resting somewhere on your leg. If you have a belt, then you might use the belt to sort of lasso the foot. And that can help you feel more supported, and it can give you a sort of more defined direction in the pose, but don't overly rely on it to sort of pull yourself into the pose. Become interested in the breath. Where can the breath take you? Remember the gravity of the exhale, so you can use that. Lengthen with the inhale, and then exhale. Find the release. And then rising on the inhale, lifting the heart to rise. Lovely, let's change sides. So we're going to slide the left foot out in front, bring the sole of the right foot to rest somewhere on the inner leg. If the heel can tuck into the groin, then that's fine. Lovely. With the inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold in. We're winding down now. So if you wish to close your eyes, then that can be a good precursor to Shavasana. Lower the right rib cage a little bit, so you're sort of twisting the belly towards that left thigh. And then follow the breath. Slightly lengthen the exhale. Let's take an inhale to rise, leading with the heart as you come up. And we'll come all the way down to lie on the back. If you want to take your warm things now, we're going to Shavasana, so blankets and jumpers and socks and things. I'm going to shut that door just for the last 5 minutes. Just to release the lower back before we come into relaxation, bring the knees into the chest. Hug the knees in. And if it feels good, maybe rock from side to side a few times. And then we're going into our final relaxation pose. So just setting yourself up for Shavasana with the feet a little bit wider than hip distance, the toes rolling out to the sides. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath. And just let the weight of the arms drop down into the ground. Let the weight of the head drop down into the ground. If it comes naturally to do so, then bring the tip of the thumb and the index finger together, forming a mudra that's known as Gyan Mudra. Soften your gaze beneath your closed eyes and let the eyes sink back a little bit deeper into the skull. Relax the jaw, chin. Rest the tongue down onto the floor of the mouth. The tongue uses up a lot of brain activity, like the hands. It takes up a lot of space in the brain. So when it's active and sort of plastered to the roof of the mouth, then it becomes an obstacle to relaxation. When the tongue is rested, the brain can relax better. Let the arms begin to fall away a little from the body. Soften the wrists, the hands and the fingers. Let the legs fall away a little from the body. Soften the ankles, the feet, toes. Now become aware of the very tips of the toes. There's no need to visualize anything here. Just notice the tips of the toes. And now feel the tips of the fingers. And now become aware of the crown of your head. Bring the awareness now to the space just behind the breastbone. And just let yourself settle there in the space just behind the breastbone. Just rest and breathe. Notice how you're breathing. And now take a few conscious breaths. When you feel ready to, then just gently begin to move your fingers and your toes. Maybe turning the head from side to side. And in your own time, roll over onto one side and take a little pause there. Come all the way up to seated when you feel ready. let's close with one Om, 3 Shantis. We'll take an inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.